So, as an up and coming teacher of mathematics, it's important to solidify my philosophy of education. So, to understand this, you will want to get to know a little bit more about me. And I went to my website, which is mrscoleman.weebly.com. And on my homepage, we can get it to scroll down here and it has a little bit about me. So basically, my name's Mrs. Coleman in class, or kids simply call me Mrs. K. I received my bachelor's degree in women's studies and my master's degree in women's history, both from Cal State Long Beach. I've always loved the idea of becoming a teacher, but only recently decided to teach math. So when my original goals for teaching at the community college level fell through, I readjusted my objectives to become a middle or high school teacher. Since I've always been really good at understanding and sharing my methods of math with others, I decided that teaching math would be my new ambition. One day I was substituting a math class and I helped these students really make sense of how to divide fractions. And it was really rewarding for me because I was able to help them and they thanked me for making it so easy. And I always think about that experience and like that is what keeps me going and makes me really happy when I can help kids make sense of math. So this is my website and my educational philosophy. So for the role of education, basically, what's the purpose of education? Well, there are many different purposes for education, and that was explained in our text. And I'd like to think that the purpose for education is a combination of all those different reasons stated by Ryan and Cooper. For children to learn how to be productive citizens, to teach the basics of English, history, math, art, and other subjects like that, as well as to instill a zest for further knowledge acquisition. For the role of the teacher, well, although our textbook cites many specific roles for teachers, such as like the dispenser of supplies, the grantor of special privileges, timekeeper, etc., I like to think that teachers have more of a fundamental role in the classroom. They set the tone and environment of the school. Teachers are role models. They wear many different hats in the classroom. So they plan, instruct, they interact with kids, they're a chaperone, they act as a liaison with parents and the community as well. So, the role of the student. Basically, students come to school not only to learn how to read, but to socialize and take part in their own psychological development. Students come to class with their own set of knowledge, history, and background. I like to think that students are not simply an empty vessel to be filled with knowledge, but a little person who's here to bring information and knowledge to the class and as a way to participate in an effort for all of us to experience and enjoy. So I put together a MindMeister map for the goals for my math students, and if you clicked the link here, you could maximize it and it would go straight to my MindMeister map. So although Common Core standards guide what is taught in math classes across the country, subject matter curriculum is not the only goal for my students. And those who can teach, we learn how trends in education will expand what our goals are for our students. Here are some of the goals that I have for my math students. It combines both what we teach through Common Core, our text, and what I hold to be essential. You can check that out some more, all the different specifics for my goals for my kids, just by clicking the link on my website. So, who will be my students? Well, if you know a little bit about me, you might want to take a look next at my students. If I'm going to teach middle or high school, it means I will be teaching adolescents. Although one of my early majors in college was to teach elementary school to children, Over the years, through my experience and practice in schools as a substitute teacher, I learned that I really like being with the middle and high school kids. They're just such great kids to be with. I love talking to them. I feel like I can connect with them and guide them in a really unique sort of way without having to teach them like how to hold a pair of scissors or things like that. Students also often experience a drop in their academic achievement during these years due to so many profound changes that they go through. As a teacher, I feel uniquely gifted with my abilities to help young adolescents learn how to manage their work and be organized students so they don't fall through the cracks. Good teachers are needed to help these students learn how to decode their textbooks so they can continue to find success in their education. Success as an adolescent will determine the remainder of their education. So, how am I going to teach? Well, based on what I know about adolescence, it's good to think about how it will translate into my math class. Some strategies I've thought about, including are maybe one way would be to create a lesson where I would start a class daily by checking their agenda. This is especially good with middle school students. Another way, especially for older students, would be to print on a sheet their warm-up page and also print their homework assignments at the top. I would use scaffolding techniques to help guide students through their reading, their math books. This means that I would have to access prior knowledge. I would incorporate multiple styles of learning, take into account students with special needs, and spend extra time on vocabulary. I personally like the idea of incorporating a lot of technology into my lessons. So there are programs like Padlet, there's Emoto, which is an awesome way that would allow students and parents to stay connected with what happens daily in class. And it could be a forum for students to get answers to problems from other students that they're experiencing while doing homework. Weebly, obviously a great website for creating them. And basically, there are limitless opportunities for techie style lessons to find online. For assessing students, I find there are different strategies to use at different levels of their lessons. So in one lesson, we could start with a warm-up activity to activate their prior knowledge and review needed vocabulary at that time. A formative assessment in the same lesson could be incorporated with the use of individual whiteboards in class, having students answer the questions and hold up their work. And summative assessments are usually quizzes and chapter tests in math classes. But other assessments I could use include online homework, blog responses to the class Edmodo site, completing graphic organizers, as well as doing group projects, hoping to connect real-world scenarios into my math class. So in conclusion, my little praxis becomes pedagogy. My educational philosophy, as expressed above, is based in praxis. That was created from my multicultural education class that I took at Cal State Fullerton. My core beliefs can be defined by 7 points that are specifically, and they inspire my pedagogical choices that I make in my classroom. So these include that 1, everyone has the right to an equal education. 2, differences will be embraced as a positive learning experience. 3, everyone has a set of knowledge and skills that they bring to the classroom. 4, knowledge is not static but ever-changing, permeable, and adjustable. 5, education is subjective and historically bound. 6, everyone will be held to the same set of high standards for knowledge, achievement, and service in the academic and the social classroom. And 7, we learn for the expansion of knowledge so we can understand the world we live in. You know, it's really my intention to provide a safe and a productive environment for my students so that they all have the opportunity to learn and to succeed. Thanks.